Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I run a small 3D printing business here in the UK and I sell my physical products on Etsy and eBay. And in this video, I will be going through what I actually earned from my prints throughout the year of 2024. And I just want to apologise for the latest on this video as I actually got one of the many bugs that was going around in January. Now, before I actually show you the actual takings, guys, I just want to make you aware that, as I mentioned in the previous video, I lost my job during COVID due to a medical condition that did require an actual operation. So in the government's eyes, they don't expect me to be going into work just yet, even though I want to work, but obviously for myself. So with that in mind, each month I do get a payment, a supplementary payment from the government, and it does actually work based on whatever profit I make. So at the moment, how it works is anything I make over £404 each month in profit, the government will then deduct my earnings from the money they gave me by 55 pence for every pound. I just want to make you clear of that, guys, and be transparent about that, because obviously when you look at the amount of money I made throughout the year of 2024, you'll be wondering how on earth did I manage to survive on such small amounts. However, on that note, during 2024, I had a little bit of a target for myself that I wanted to reach. Now, I opened up a brand new eBay account and I wanted to get at least 100 new feedback on there and get some sales. And overall, through both platforms, I wanted to try and aim for around about £8,000 worth of sales. Now, that's not profit, that's just purely sales. And I am glad to say that on the 31st of January 31st of December 2024, on eBay, I'd actually got the 102 feedback, so I'd beat that target. And overall for the year, I've done about £13,000 worth of sales. But we're going to jump onto the PC now, and I will go through exactly where what money I made and what actually happened in regards to the expenses and so on. So without further ado, we'll jump straight on, guys, and we'll go from there. Right then, guys, so here we are over on my eBay account. Now, as I mentioned there, I did actually open the account as a brand new account at the beginning of the year. And I'm just going to go through exactly what income I got. So overall, throughout the year, I got 202 sales, which I will be honest with you, is more than I expected, just purely because I don't sell anything unique. A lot of people do similar things, and after all, they are 3D printed, and a lot of people don't generally go onto eBay for that type of product. So as you can see here from the sales, and I'll leave this on the page, guys, so you can actually read it. But total sales came to £1,926.72. However, my sales expenses on eBay, as you can see there, are £1,194.92. Now, that number actually includes selling fees, final valuation fees, listing fees, as well as all the postage I purchase through eBay, whether that be from Royal Mail or from Every. On that note, though, guys, what I have noticed, and I just want to make you aware of this is something I was going to bring up in another video. When you're doing your postage labels through eBay, if you're in the UK and you use someone like Royal Mail, they will take that payment from you there and then, either from your bank card or using PayPal. However, when you're using Every, they don't actually take the money straight away. They take it a couple of days later. Not too sure why that is. It's obviously some contract they've got with Every, but they don't take the payment straight away. You still get your postage label, and then they charge you a couple of days later. Just want to make you aware of that. And then, as you can see there on the far right there, guys, in the blue, what I came out with over the year was £731.80. Not a massive amount, don't get me wrong, but compared to my Etsy store, this throughout the year 2024, I only had about 30 items on there compared to my Etsy, which has got about 120 items, give or take. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that there for a couple of moments, guys, and then I'm going to flick over to my Etsy platform, and I'll show you the full breakdown there. Now, you can actually pause it at any time if you want to come back and check it. So if I go over to my Etsy, so here we are, guys, on my Etsy platform, and as you can see there, it says here I actually done sales of £11,894.93 throughout the year, and what I take home after that was £5,956.67, which doesn't sound like a lot, but I was quite happy with that, because they usually say in your first year don't expect to make any profit. But what you will see, guys, there, especially in the red, is the amount of fees, whether it be from marketing and delivery and so on. So let me just give you bring down each of these tabs just to give you a full breakdown of all the fees and so on. So 1,163 sales on Etsy last year, 12 refunds. Now that could be from things that just haven't turned up or customers. You do occasionally get a customer that will tell you that they ordered something in error, even though they had to scroll down 25 different colours and pick the colour and pick the size, but apparently they did it in error, but there you go. But it does happen. So that's obviously on the sales, there's £12,292.12 in total. Obviously, with the £152 worth of refunds, which is where we get this number from. Okay. Now, what you will see, guys, is a lot of people going about the marketing on Etsy. Should you do it? Should you not do it? Now, on Etsy, there is one particular part of the marketing which you can just enable, which is their off-site ads. So if they advertise your product on their page or their scrolling platform within the Facebook platform, and someone clicks on it and comes through to your stores and buy something, that percentage can actually be quite high, up to 15 to 20%. As we can see here, my off-site ads was £141.96, and that is someone maybe coming from Facebook or Instagram, from the Etsy platform, that have seen my listing and then they've come over and purchased something. Okay. Now, as for Etsy ads, that is a paid platform, and you can establish how much you can pay on a daily basis. Now, I tried this, and at the time, I could do as little as £1 or $1 a day, or $5.05, I think was the most I ever tried. And I did that for 2 weeks. However, I felt because of the size of my platform and my store, it was so small, it wasn't benefiting me. I was actually spending more on the marketing than I was on the actual sales getting from the marketing. That's not to say it wouldn't work for you. It all depends on your branding, how much, what type of thing you're selling, and what your marketing's like away from the platform. So it might be beneficial to yourself. On this occasion, it wasn't for me. But that's not to say it's not something I would use in the future, because I possibly will once I've done a bit more marketing off my own back and got my own website up and running as well. Now, again, as you can see here, guys, my selling fees with Every. So similar to eBay, you get a fee for every time you put a product on there. However, they last a little bit longer. I think it's about 3 months before they get renewed. And that's at 20 cents, give or take, I think it works out. But then obviously you still get fees for listing fees, transaction fees and processing fees, as you can see on the screen there. So overall, £2,216.69, which sounds like a lot. But bearing in mind, Etsy is a well-established name. You're getting all their traffic regardless of what people are coming on here for. So if someone's coming on for a handbag and your product just happens to be on that same page, you get that pass-through traffic and potentially a sale from it. Although you still need to put your own SEO on each of your own listings. The actual, what's the word I'm looking for? The traffic that you get from the platform, because it's established, it's there. It's something you don't have to worry about. Whereas if it's your own website, you've got to make sure you've got your marketing up and running, you've got great SEO and so on and so forth. So do I still think, after being on Etsy for a full year, it's a viable platform? Yes, I do, and I continue to sell on here. But like I say, moving forward, I will be selling on other platforms as well as my own website. Now, the shocking thing is, guys, as you can see, I've actually spent more money on delivery costs. So overall, £3,403.08. This is purely just on Etsy. Now, as you can see, just from below there, guys, I use 2 mailing companies here in the UK, Royal Mail and Every. Now, usually I use Royal Mail for international shipping, especially if it's classed as a large letter, just purely because Every don't offer large letter formats, and it would automatically go down as a parcel, and therefore you get the parcel charges. However, don't automatically just go to one because you're used to doing it. Do check before you go and buy that label, because on occasions I have found it's actually cheaper to send something as a parcel through Every than it is to send it as a large letter through Royal Mail. As bizarre as that sounds, that's how it is. So as I mentioned, guys, the little boo-bow I made. So as I mentioned, I have to submit a report to the government each month as well to show them the breakdown of my sales and expenses. So what actually happened was, because I was filling in their spreadsheet, in my head, I'd put all the expenses down. But it turned out I hadn't actually put the expenses on my own spreadsheet. So on my spreadsheet, it looked as though I'd made about £9,000 in profit, when in fact it was closer to £4,000 in profit in total. But again, I'm still happy with that, because £4,000 is better than nothing. Bearing in mind, it's my first year in business, and they usually say don't expect to make any profit at all in your first year. So the fact that I made just shy of £4,000, I'm more than happy with that. I also hit my targets for my feedback on eBay. I know that doesn't mean anything, but it was just a number I wanted to hit. And I also hit the target of 8,000 because I went well above that. And if I'd have submitted my tax return, if I had to submit it at that point, and I stated I made £9,000 rather than £4,000, it would have made, I might not have had to pay anything, but I might have. And it's just that small possibility. So whenever you come to do your recording, guys, just make sure you've got everything nailed correctly, because the last thing you want to do is give a tax return in wrong, basically. So I'm going to show you now how I report things for myself, guys. And I'm going to flick over to the old spreadsheet. Now, bear in mind, I've now redone this, so it looks better moving forward. But this is how I was actually capturing on my own sales and expenses and so on. And then down here, I'd have each of the actual, it tell me how many sales I had per day. And then we had all the tracking information on here. I'm not going to go into this in much detail, guys, because I'll show you the new one, because as I mentioned, I didn't actually fill in, my expenses wasn't correct because I didn't put all the correct expenses on here. So if I show you the new one I'm going to be using moving forward. So this is the dashboard for 2025. So far I've had 45 sales in January, which still beat January of last year. And as you can see there, it shows the amount of sales I've had compared to the amount of products I've sold, along with the gross amount I've made, and then again with the net, so you can see the difference there. However, you can also see so far how much of the expenses I've made off the back of that, because of obviously with it being January, I don't expect to make too much of a profit, because I've got to recoup and buy new stocks in, whether that be packaging, new equipment or filament. And this just gives me a breakdown as to which platforms I've sold where and how much I've made on each of the platforms. And then down here you can see in the categories as well, obviously here in the orangey yellow looking colour, that's how many items I've sold in the home section, so things for the home. Red is for key rings, and then the blue is the fidget toys, so it gives you an idea. And then again over here it just gives you an idea of the breakdown of which countries I've sold to so far. So as you can see, this year it's only been the UK and the US. Now all my transactions I then put onto here. Now there's another tab there, guys, that I have the customer's name in. That's just so that I can tell if I've dealt with that customer in the past, because it'll highlight if it's a repeat customer. And then what I'll do is, this is something I've done new with the transactions and the courier. This is their tracking numbers and the actual courier used, just in case parcels go missing and I have to put a claim in with the company. At least I don't have to go through all the platforms and try and look for all the information. Now on here I actually select what the actual customers purchased. It'll automatically bring in the category and what they've purchased as well. Now, and then towards the end there, this shows you what the customer's been charged for. So if they've had any discounts, like 15% discount, this takes a discount off the actual item prior to the actual delivery charge being added to it, because that's how every works things out. Then over here we've got the actual delivery charge that the customer's been charged for, and then obviously if it's a customer abroad, then I'd have to make sure I put the sales tax in. And then in this yellow column here is the actual amount the customer paid in total. So that's the products they purchased, along with any discounts and the delivery charge added as well. And then to make sure that moving forward I actually capture all my correct expenses. On here is the actual price it costs for the products that I'm printing. Now bearing in mind, I have got a couple more businesses I'm going to be opening up this year, so that'll have more than just print costs in there. And then on this particular category, so this one here, which says 6p, this sale was for a keyring. So I know there's an additional item to add to the printed cost, which is the actual metal part of the keyring itself. So it automatically pulls that in as an expense. And then on here, I've got the individual box types. So depending on what the customer, how the customer gets their item shipped out, I select the relevant box, and this will automatically calculate things like the actual box itself, the postage label, any treats that I may put in there. 'Cause I do put Christmas treats in, like candy canes or Haribos, and then it also includes the actual postage label. So for that A6 box, it only comes to 45p, plus the postage cost and the additional extras, and then it actually works out what the actual price of that postage cost came to. And then over here, the actual profit I made from that sale, and then the year and the month. It just helps me when it comes to navigating this front page, because I can use this for multiple years, not just for 2025. So that's how it worked out, guys. So yeah, so that was my take-ins for the year of 2024, guys. I know it's not a lot to look at, but I just wanted to give you a full overview and actually show you the screen so you didn't have to take my word for it. It's always best when you're looking at numbers and you can pause things when you want. Now the spreadsheet, as I mentioned, I have actually made it myself from scratch using Google Sheets. And the reason why I use Google Sheets, one, it's free and it's always on the cloud, so I don't have to worry about it accidentally getting deleted. I have been told I should sell it, but I don't think it's tweaked enough to sell it as a download for other people to do. But if you've got any further questions, guys, or you want to know anything else in regards to what I do, then by all means leave me a message below in the comments, or like I say, join our new Facebook group, and I shall speak to you then. We can all learn from each other. If you want a one-to-one, guys, or you want to ask me something a bit more personal, and you don't want to put it down as a comment, by all means contact me. I do believe there's an email link in the banner of my page. If not, go to the About page. There will be one in there. Or leave a comment just saying, can I have your email address? And I will message you direct. And then if we want to jump into Discord, we can have a chat. But on that note, guys, take care. I'll see you all in the next video. Ciao for now. Happy printing.